Okay, so first of all, we've got to simplify these ratios for question 1. So the obvious thing to do to start off with is, because they're both even, is divide them both by 2, which will give you 3 and 9. However, you've got to then look past that and think, is there any other number that can go into them as well? So you can simplify it once to get 3 to 9, and then you can do it again, so you divide them both by 3. So 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 3, so it goes into 9 3 times. So the ratio is 1 to 3. Next one. We can't halve it because 15 is an even number, but there is 5 that can go into both of them. So you do 15 divided by 5, which is 3. You do 20 divided by 5, which is 4. Okay, so if you have a look at question C, again, you can divide them both by 2 if that's the easiest thing, which gives you 8 and 12. Divide them by 2 again gives you 4 and 6. Again, they're both even numbers, so divide by 2 again, 2 to 3. Alternatively, if you can spot it, you can divide them both by 8. 8 goes into 16 twice, 8 goes into 24 3 times, and you get straight to the answer. But it doesn't matter whether you go straight to the answer, whether you use 2 or 3 steps, you still get the same amount of marks. So question D, simplify 24 to 36. It's going to be 12 to 18. Do that again. 6 to 9. Now, is there any other number that goes into 6 and 9? Yeah, 3. So you divide the first one by 3, it's going to be 2. Second one by 3, and you get 3. Okay, next is very, very similar style questions, except they're sort of more real life. So £5 to £15, if you divide them both by 5, or if you write it as a ratio first of all, 5 to 15, divide them both by 5, 1 to 3. B, write it as 24 to 16, then divide them both by 2, 12 to 8. I actually see that 4 goes into both of them, so divide them by 4, 3 to 2. That'll be your final answer. C, 125 grams to 300 grams. So 125 to 300. Now, this one ends in a 5, this one ends in a 0, so you can divide them by 5. And if you're struggling with that, do 5s into 125. So 5s into 1 don't go. 5s into 12 go twice with 2 left over. 5s into 25 go 5 times. So that's going to be 25. And 5s into 300. So 5s into 300. 5s into 3 don't go. 5s into 30 go 6 times. 5s into 0 don't go. So that's going to be 25 to 60. Again, they both end in either a 5 or a 0. So divide them both by 5 again, and you should end up getting 5. Divide this one by 5, and you get 12. So 5 to 12. Sometimes the ratios run the other way. So the biggest number is on the right-hand side, just like in question B. So if I write it out 40 to 5, divide them both by 5, that gives you 8 to 1. Right, now the next question here, express each of the following ratios in the form 1 to n. This is a calculator question. So if we have a look at question D there, I've got 25 to 36, and I want to go down to 1 to something. So what I need to do is the way to get from 25 down to 1 is to divide by 25. So if I do 36 divided by 25, I get 1.44. So the answer is 1 to 1.44. Question E. So if it's 5 to 27, the way I get down to 1 to something is I divide by 5. So 27 divided by 5 is 5.4. So it's going to be 1 to 5.4. Next one. To get down to 1, to get from 12 down to 1, you need to divide by 12. So if you do 18 divided by 12, you get 1.5. Right, next, what I would do to start off with is, just like in the previous one here, where we're going to simplify it down, make sure you've got the same units. So I can't have 5 hours in 1 day. I'll have 5 hours and 24 hours. So that's going to be 5 to 24. Then I'll divide by 5. So 24 divided by 5 is going to be 4.8. Next question. Again, we've got 4 hours and 1 week. So what we need to do is we need to work out how many hours there are in 1 week. So over to the side for H, we could do 1 week is 7 days. Now I know that in 7 days, or in 1 day, it's going to be 24 hours. So 7 times 24 is going to be 168 hours. So that's going to be 4 to 168. Then to get down to 1, everyone has got a calculator, divide by 4. That turns out to be 42. So it's 1 to 42. Next one, £4 to £5. To get down to 1, And if you divide by 4, that's going to be 1 to 1.25, or £1.25. Now, section 4 is the most common ratio questions you can get. That's where you've got an amount, and you've got to divide that whole amount into the ratio 2 to 3. Now, we're going to be talking about two different types of ratios from now on. And the first one is divide the whole amount into the ratio 2 to 3. So that means 2 parts and 3 parts, so that's going to be 5 parts. So what we do is we say these 5 parts equals 400 grams, and I want to know what 1 part is. So to go from 5 parts to 1 part, I divide by 5. So 400 grams divided by 5 is going to be 80 grams. So now I know that 1 part, each part is 80 grams. So I want to know what 2 parts are. So if 1 part is 80 grams, 2 parts is going to be 160 grams. Now I've got 3 parts. So 1 part is 80 grams. So 3 parts are going to be 3 lots of that, so that's going to be 240 grams. Next, 280 in the ratio 2 to 5. So that's 2 parts to 5 parts. So I'm going to do 7 parts, because I add the ratio together. 7 parts equals 280 kilograms. So 1 part, I divide by 7, and I've got 40 kilograms. So 2 parts are going to be 80 kilograms. 5 parts is going to be 5 lots of 40, which is 200 kilograms. Next is question 5. So again, have a look at the ratio, and it's 3 parts and 7 parts, so in total that's 10 parts. So I'm going to say 10 parts equals 500. Now if 10 parts is 500, 1 part is going to be 50. So 3 parts is going to be 150. 7 parts is going to be 7 lots of that, which is going to be 350. Next, 1 kilometre in the ratio 19 to 1. So this one's a little bit trickier, because if you add it up, I'm going to say that's 20 parts. However, it's 20 parts equals 1 kilometre. But that makes it a little bit tricky to find out what 1 part is. So what I could do is forget about 1 kilometre. That's 1,000 metres. And now it makes it a little bit easier. So if 20 parts is 1,000 metres, divide by 20 to find out what 1 part is. And no problem with using a calculator for this. 1 part would be 50 metres. And if you want to do that without a calculator, if I'm going to do 1,000 divided by 20, write it as a fraction, 1,000 divided by 20, knock off a 0, and then it's 100 divided by 2, which is 50. So if 1 part is 50, that's that one there, that's 50 metres. 19 parts is 19 lots of 50. And if 20 parts is 1,000 metres, take off 1 part, so take off 50 metres, and that's going to be 950 metres. Okay, so that's section 4 done. Now we've got section 5 and section 6. So section 5 is pretty much exactly the same, except we've got 240 pound in the ratio 3 to 5 to 12. So what we do is we add up the parts. So that's 3 parts, 5 parts, that's 8 parts, plus 12 is going to be 20 parts. So I'll write down that 20 parts equals 240 pounds. So 1 part is going to be 12 pounds, because you divide by 20. Again, use calculation if needs be. So 1 part is 12 pounds. So 3 parts is going to be 3 lots of that, so that's going to be 36 pounds. Next, 5 parts is going to be 60 pounds. Next, 12 parts, or 1 part is 12 pounds, 12 parts is going to be 12 lots of 12, which is 144. H, 1 to 5 to 6, so that's going to be 12 parts. So 12 parts equals 600 grams. So divide by 12, and you get 1 part equals 50 grams. So 1 part is 50 grams. Then you've got to work out what 5 parts are. So 5 lots of 50 is going to be 250 grams. 6 lots of 50 is going to be 300 grams. Now question I, you've got 7 parts, 10 parts and 8 parts. So add that together, that's going to be 25 parts. So 25 parts equals £5. That's no good, because we can't do 5 divided by 25. So what we do is we say £5 is 500 pence. So we then work out what 1 part is. So we do 500 pence divided by 25, that equals 20 pence. So we need to know what 7 parts are. So 7 lots of 20 pence is going to be 140 pence, which is £1.40. 10 parts is going to be 10 lots of 20p, which is going to be 200p, so that's going to be £2. 8 parts is going to be 8 lots of 20p, which is £1.60. Now, next one, 15 to 9 to 1. If we add all those together, that's going to be 25. So 25 parts equals 200 kilograms. So divide by 25, and 1 part equals 8 kilograms. So then 8 times 15 is going to be 120 kilograms. 9 parts is going to be 72 kilograms. And 1 part is going to be 8 kilograms. That's all of section 5 done. Now, section 6. Again, this is a ratio question, but they've just put some words about it now. So let's have a look. The ratio of female to male members in the gardening club is 5 to 3. So I might write down female to male is 5 to 3, just so I can start to sort of get it in my own language. The total number of members of the group is 256. So we've got to split these 256 in the ratio 5 to 3. So that's going to be 5 parts and 3 parts, which is going to be 8 parts. And that equals 256 members. So now I divide by 8 to find out what 1 part is. So 256 divided by 8 gives us 32. So each part is going to be 32 members. So 5 parts is going to be 32 times by 5, which of course is 160, a female. And then 32 times by 3 is going to be 96. Again, you can always double check your answer just by doing the two things added together. So 160 plus 96, and that should equal the original thing. So 160, a female. Now, what percentage of the members are male? We haven't gone through this yet, but the way we do this is we write it out as a fraction to start off with. So it's going to be 96 out of 256. Then we turn it into a decimal, so 96 divided by 256, which is 0.375. Then to go from a decimal into a percentage, you times by 100. And if you do that, you get 37.5%. So, next one. This is a little bit different, so let's read this out. So we've got an Illinois Department of Health reported that from the years 1981 to 1992, when they tested a total of 357 horses for rabies, the ratio of horses with rabies to those without was 1 to 16. So I'm going to say rabies, not rabies. So it's going to be 1 to 16. So how many of these horses had rabies? So I've got to split this 357 down into the ratio 1 to 16. So it's going to be 17 parts equals 357 horses. So 1 part, I need to divide that by 17. So 357 divided by 17 equals 21. So how many did not have rabies? That's going to be the 16 parts. So 16 parts, it's going to be 16 lots of 21. That equals 336 horses which did not have rabies. The next one. When I picked my strawberries, I found that some have been spoilt by snails. The rest were good. So I've got spoilt strawberries and I've got good strawberries. These are in the ratio 3 to 17. I said 18 of my strawberries have been spoilt by snails. How many good strawberries did I find? Now this is a completely different question now, because we're not saying that I want to share 18 strawberries in total into the ratio 3 to 17. I'm saying that 18 of strawberries have been spoiled. So if I have a look at this, the number of spoiled parts is going to be 3. So I need to say that 3 parts equals 18 strawberries. And then 1 part equals 6 strawberries. And this, it takes a lot to be able to spot that. So if you can, fantastic. So if 1 part is 6 strawberries, I want to know how many good strawberries I found. And the good strawberries were 17 parts. So if we do 6 times 17, we get 102. So that's going to be 102 good strawberries. Right, now on to the final question. We've got 3 business partners, Kevin, John and Margaret. And they put money into a venture in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. So before you read too many words, just write down what it is you know. You know That's Kevin to John to Margaret in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. And they shared a profit in the same ratio. So last year, Margaret made £3,400 out of the profits. So Margaret, who has 5 parts to this, she made 3,400. So therefore I know that 5 parts equals £3,400. So I've got to work out what one part is. So 3400 divided by 5, it's going to be £680. And I want to know how much Kevin made and how much John made. So Kevin made 3 parts, looking at our question. So if one part is 680, times that by 3, and we've got £2,040 by Kevin. John made 4 parts, so 680 times by 4 gives us £2,720. And that's how you deal with all the ratio stuff. So well done if you got through that and you got them all correct.